If you feel like your life is just constantly running on the highest possible setting, you are definitely not alone.
Oh, absolutely not.
We're all under this relentless pressure. The pace of information, all the obligations, the sheer noise.
It's a lot, and it's an environment that really celebrates being frantic over, being deliberate.
Exactly. But today, we're going to hit the brakes on that idea.
A full stop.
Our deep dive is built around a stack of sources, really centered on the insights of Abdullah Al-Sultan, who offers this powerful counter-strategy.
And it's a simple claim, but it's pretty revolutionary when you put it into practice.
He says protecting your inner peace isn't a retreat, it's not a luxury, and it's definitely not weakness. It's the essential foundation for real functional strength.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we so often equate strength with what we do externally, how much we can handle, how fast we move.
Mm-hmm.
But Al-Sultan just reframes that whole concept. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack his argument that true strength, it actually begins inside. It's anchored in clarity, calm, and emotional balance.
And if you don't have that internal stability,
then every action you take, no matter how quick or decisive it seems on the surface, is ultimately compromised.
So as we guide you through this, you're going to get a really structured sense of how that actually works. We're going to look at the mechanism, the way that calmness leads to better decisions.
And we'll analyze why the sources are so firm on this point that clarity is definitively stronger than speed.
And finally, we'll show you how that inner balance becomes a sustainable, real source of power. Power that the outside world just can't touch.
It really is the ultimate resource management strategy. The core idea, the one we'll keep coming back to, is that your peace is where your real power lives.
I love that.
If you can internalize that, you start treating your mental and emotional state not as some byproduct of your life, but as the very engine that drives it.
Okay, so let's start right there. Let's define what this precious resource actually is.
Great place to start.
When we talk about resources, usually we think of things we can count, right? Money, time, connections.
Tangible assets.
Right, but Al-Sultan flips that entirely and says, no, inner peace is your greatest resource. So what makes this internal state more valuable than, say, a huge bank account?
Well, because without it, all those other resources get squandered. They get wasted.
Okay.
The materials are really clear that this resource isn't just, the absence of stress. It's a dynamic state. It's built from 3 interacting parts: clarity, calm, and emotional balance.
So it's a system.
It's a high-performance system, exactly. You can think of clarity as the input filter.
The filter.
Yeah, it's that ability to see what's signal and what's noise, what's vital versus what's just a distraction.
And then calm is the operational stability.
Right. The system isn't overheating. It can process all that information efficiently. And then emotional balance, that's your resilience.
Yeah.
That dictates how fast you recover from a shock or a setback.
And they all work together.
They're totally interdependent.
Mm-hmm.
High clarity reduces the noise, which makes calm possible. And calm helps you maintain your balance when things go wrong.
That makes the argument so much stronger than just, be peaceful. It really operationalizes it.
Mm-hmm.
But let me push back a little here.
Please do.
In the real world, the decisions we have to make, whether you're running a business or a family, they demand action. How does this internal stability translate into, as the source says, undeniable power that actually moves the needle?
It connects directly to your resilience and your strategic foresight. This power isn't about brute force or controlling other people.
So what is it about?
It's about being able to keep that strategic, wide-angle view, even when tactical chaos is erupting all around you. The material says that when you have this 3-part state, your mind is calm, your heart is steady.
And your power becomes undeniable.
Right, because your judgment isn't being compromised by fear or by pressure.
So the power is in the quality of the outcome, not just the speed of the action.
That's the core of it.
If you're internally turbulent, you're reactive, you're pressured, you might still make a decision, but it's basically a gamble.
It's a gamble, yes. But when your core system is stable and calm, the sources suggest that the input, the processing, and the output are all just fundamentally higher quality.
Which leads to more sustainable, more impactful results.
Precisely. In a professional setting, it's the difference between panicking during a market shock versus being able to absorb it, recover quickly, and respond strategically.
That analysis leads us perfectly into this central contrast that the sources present. The 2 paths of chaos versus quiet focus.
And we are, as a culture, completely indoctrinated to believe that being busy is the same as being successful.
We absolutely chase chaos.
We do, and chaos is so often mistaken for momentum. But Al-Sultan argues it's profoundly counterproductive. Chaos just breeds more reactivity.
You spend all your time fighting fires you shouldn't have even started.
Yes. The analysis here is really sharp. It says, quiet focus can transform your life more than chaos ever could.
Okay, but let's ask the practical question, because this is where the theory can hit a wall. I get it, quiet focus is great, but what if you have a manager or a client who demands speed, who demands immediacy?
That's a challenge.
How does Al-Sultan square the idea that clarity is stronger than speed when the market literally punishes hesitation? Where's the playbook for defending that slower pace?
And the sources really do confront this head-on. They do it by redefining speed versus velocity.
Okay, what's the difference?
Speed is just movement. Velocity is movement in a specific, intentional direction. The material asserts that the brief pause you need to get clarity is almost always outweighed by the efficiency you gain.
Efficiency from taking the right step.
Instead of 5 hurried steps in the wrong direction. The focus isn't on being slow, it's about being intentional. A clear decision, even if it takes a moment longer to figure out, avoids the massive cost of correcting mistakes later.
The time, the energy, the emotional toll of failure.
All of it. So you might move fast for a week, but if you burn out or make a huge strategic error, the clear and calm person who took 2 extra hours to think is going to surpass you in the long run.
So that reframes speed as a net negative if it doesn't have that strategic intention behind it.
It does.
And the sources stress that calmness directly leads to better decisions. It moves this whole conversation about peace away from just personal well-being.
And into the realm of a critical, functional competency. If you want better strategic output, you have to settle your internal state first.
Okay, so if this internal clarity and calm is our most valuable asset, we have to protect it. The sources then get into some really actionable strategies. How do we actually protect your inner peace from noise and negativity?
This is where we shift from philosophy into, let's call it engineering. The main protection mechanism Al-Sultan highlights is setting healthy boundaries.
So you can't just wish the noise away.
No, you have to build fortifications. And the deep dive stresses that boundaries are not acts of exclusion, they're acts of conservation. Their whole purpose is to protect your energy.
Let's break that down. What kind of drains are we talking about?
Well, it's not always big, dramatic negativity. A lot of it is the cumulative effect of digital noise, the constant pings and notifications demanding just a little slice of your attention.
Or relational noise, the drama, the expectations of other people.
Exactly. Boundaries are the rules you set up to manage who and what gets access to your internal resources.
So if you think of your clarity and your calm as a battery, then boundaries are the smart energy management system that stops the world from just plugging in and draining it whenever it wants.
It's a perfect analogy. An electronic boundary might be scheduling specific times to check your email instead of letting your inbox just constantly interrupt you.
And a relational boundary.
It could be as simple as refusing to engage in gossip or not allowing someone else's emotional chaos to become your problem. We often internalize other people's urgency, right? We think it's rude to step away.
But in this framework, it's not rude.
It's mandatory. It's mandatory for your sustained effectiveness. If you don't manage access, you surrender your clarity.
This all ties into what I think is one of the most reassuring takeaways from the material.
What's that?
The idea that you don't have to move fast to grow. I mean, that is just such a huge relief when everything is always pushing for more acceleration.
It's a direct contradiction to the whole hustle culture narrative. The necessary requirement isn't speed. It's sustained, focused purpose.
You have to move with purpose.
And that purpose demands that you prioritize your internal state. You protect your clarity over just sheer velocity. When you move with purpose, every single action is meaningful.
Every step reinforces your foundation.
Yes, and that is the operational definition of clarity is stronger than speed. Speed without clarity is just frantic reaction. It's movement dictated by external pressure. But clarity, which is born from that inner peace, ensures that when you do move,
it's with maximum impact and minimal wasted resources. And that deliberate pace is what allows the growth to be sustainable, not temporary and exhausting.
That's a critical distinction.
Yeah.
So true growth, according to this, isn't about how much you do.
Yeah.
It's about how well you figure out what is necessary to do. It means replacing reaction with intention and protecting it all with a solid wall of boundaries.
You've got it.
So let's try and synthesize all this for everyone listening. We've established that clarity, calm, and emotional balance are non-negotiable for real strength.
We've detailed the protective strategies, the boundaries that you need to maintain that resource.
And we've analyzed why that quiet, focused approach leads to better outcomes than just frantic speed.
The final point really just connects all these steps back to the self. When you are consistent in protecting and cultivating your internal state, your inner balance is what becomes your real source of power.
And that power is different. It is. It's immune to market swings or social pressures because it's generated and sustained entirely within your own control.
When you operate from that place of intact peace,
Yeah.
you're not reacting out of desperation or insecurity. You're acting from a place of genuine, self-generated strength. And that strength gives you resilience. It gives you consistent, high-quality output. It just makes the whole architecture of Sultan lays out a really compelling guide.
It's a powerful invitation, really, to shift our focus away from external validation and toward internal optimization. We've taken this deep dive from just recognizing the chaos of the outside world to understanding that the most effective response is building that internal stability, that place where clarity and calm are the absolute foundation for genuine, sustainable strength.
So as you finish listening, maybe take a couple minutes for a personal audit. Think about the biggest sources of noise and pressure that you face today.
Really pinpoint them. Pinpoint them specifically. Is it digital demands? Is it the expectation that you have to be instantly available? Or maybe it's that feeling that you have to match everyone else's chaotic pace. Identifying the drain is the first step.
And here's a provocative thought for you to carry into your week, one that builds directly on this idea of quiet focus.
Okay.
If clarity is truly stronger than speed, what is one major area of your life, a specific project, maybe a recurring meeting or a relationship, where you could intentionally substitute that chaotic, reactive movement for quiet, focused effort this week? And what unexpected power, what breakthrough might you get from intentionally letting go of all that frantic energy?